for showing up in the middle, please. If you would please line up for showing up in the middle.
Other than I was there to watch Holly go. Well, Holly won her qualifying class, and then Janet had won her qualifying class, and it got to the championship night, and Holly had won the amateur park saddle horse, and so she'd done all she was there to do. And I remember going up into the bleachers, and I had seen the mare work, and she impressed me. I'd always watched her for a couple, 3 years while they were bringing her on. And Jim looked up at me, and he says, he just kind of motioned to me, he pointed at her. And I knew it was decision time, and I gave him the thumbs up, meaning,
You'll take her.
I bought a horse. And smile came across his face. I remember the smile come across his face. He didn't want this mare to leave his stable. He wanted to keep he felt she could be a world champion. And so he had a reason for wanting to keep her. And Annie certainly wanted to stay aboard her. And he went over and he whispered to Annie that I had given the thumbs up on the mare. And I can remember she whopped her with the riding crop a little bit, you know, and she came in there and she just blew the crowd right away. She did. In fact, it was probably the greatest show she ever had put on, even before she won the world championship, because of the moment, the emotion, the great release that suddenly she's got a new owner and we're gonna really make it happen tonight. And so they hit the field running, and you could have tied 20 horses between her and the next place horse. And of course, then they announced, the announcer says that Topsfield Janet will be retiring under the Aruda colors. And the minute you say retire, there was a gasp in the Coliseum. You mean she's not going to show again, you know, and like that.
Yeah.
And they says that she will be leaving she came in under the Aruda colors and will be leaving under the White West colors. She's been bought by Ken White in Salt Lake City, Utah. And of course, the fellow I came with, he about fell out of the bleachers because he knew nothing. He knew nothing of it until that moment. And so that's how I acquired her. She went on, she was almost undefeated, and in the in the ring. I rarely she ever got. I mean, she got beat now and then, but not often. The first year she went to Grand Nationals, she went reserve world champion. UVM Promise of the University of Vermont. UVM meaning University of Vermont.
Okay.
Promise was the name of the horse, who was a world champion horse, halter horse. He went world champion and Janet went reserve. The crowd was very upset because they felt Janet had won. I thought she'd done enough, but I was willing to take whatever, you know, it's the judge's decision. But the crowd noticeably was upset. In returning,
This is Oklahoma City.
no, yeah,
This is in Oklahoma City.
yeah, it was in Oklahoma City. And then I was returning home from another show the following year. And I was, to show you how much I'm proud to be known by the horses I owned. And the reason I know that people knew me by my horses is the fact that I was in the Chicago O'Hare Airport.
Chicago,
I thought, you know, I was there by myself, just heading to New England to watch a horse show. And some people came up to me and they recognized me. Now, this is interesting, I didn't know them from Adam. And they knew all about my horses. And they says, will Janet be at the World Championships this next October? I looked at them and I thought, well, you know, they must be fans of hers, you know.
Right.
And I says, yes, if she's ready, she'll be there. We don't know yet, but if she's ready, we will take her and present her again. Well, we did, and that year she won, and she beat Trophy's Jade. And so that was the year, I forget which year it is.
Like 80s, early 80s.
4 or something,
Yeah.
somewhere in the 80s.
Now, her age when she won the world championship.
She was 13 years old.
So she was 13, older, much older than the typical horse that would win the championship,
Yeah,
right?
but more than that, she was a mare.
And she was a mare.
And most of it, generally, Park Saddle Champion horse is a stallion for that stamina. What few people knew that night is that we had a game plan, much like you would a football team. We felt that we would hold her back because we thought that the judge would have call for a work-off because the judge had worked this Trophy Jade horse. And we were afraid that politically we might get beat again. And so I told Annie, I says, let's hold her back a little bit so that we've got some bloom left for the championship.
Okay.
The work-off never came. The judge signed a card. Here we'd held her back. And we never got to show the crowd what she could really do.
Oh, that's too bad. Now, I was there, I remember being there, you had the first time
Well-
you videotaped it, and I was there in Oklahoma City.
That was what had happened, so we always kinda felt like, geez,
And this was an open.
she did enough to win it.
Was this an open breed, or was this just a
No,
Morgan
it was
breed?
just Morgan breed.
Okay.
No, just Morgan breed. That's Janet, she was the greatest one, and then there was Mannix Easter Star from the Manic Farms
Where's the Thematic Farms at?
out of, Sacramento, California.
Okay.
And then there was, oh geez, there was a
Sunday
lot.
Dawn?
There was a lot of. Sunday Dawn, why, of course, Sunday Dawn was one I raised.
Okay.
And, he had a mind of his own, but I was able to keep him in check. But he was a good horse.
Now, what was the horse that was I think it was a reserve world champion, Western Pleasure, that you bought later after Janet?
Rayo's Touch of Class.
Yeah, Rayo's Touch of Class.
We called him Classy for short.